Oh, sorry. Excuse me. Dropped a penny. Um, However, there's something oddly fascinating about this penny. It's small, it's nearly weightless in my hand, and in most places it can't even buy anything for me anymore. I mean, people drop them on the ground and don't bother picking them up. They seem worthless. But let's talk about a moment when something worthless was the difference between success and failure. In 2010, a teenager named Riley wanted to find a way to make new friends and connect with others who shared his love for music. So he decided to set up a small speaker in the local park. He left a handwritten sign that read, "Plug in, play, share a song," and walked away. The idea was simple. Anyone could connect their phone to the speaker, play a song they loved, and introduce someone new to their favorite music. At first, it was just a few curious kids stopping by, but eventually it became a ritual. Strangers turned into friends, playlists were swapped, and every evening that park buzzed with different beats. Before long, other teens in different cities started setting up their own drop-a-beat stations. What started as one speaker, a simple idea, and his intentions to make new friends became a global movement, turning parks, bus stops, even school courtyards into places where music was not only heard, but shared. Every significant turning point in history, every uprising, every remarkable innovation, they all start with something that seems too small to matter. Now, I want to bring another example about Mark, a 19-year-old college student who decided to build a simple website in his dorm room. The website was used by students to connect, share, interact every day. Just a simple website with a few users and an idea. But that small action, it became Facebook, one of the biggest social media platforms in today's world, changing how billions of people from all around the world communicate, share, and interact every day. My point is that you don't need to be famous or rich or have all the answers to make an impact. Sometimes the smallest and the weirdest ideas can change everything for you. So what's stopping you from starting yours? But it works both ways. A single gesture of kindness, a teacher staying after school to help a struggling student, or a neighbor checking in on an elderly friend, a stranger paying for someone's meal. These things seem small. I mean, they seem like pennies in the grand economy of life, but add them up, they tip the scale. Now, let me tell you about something that happened during World War II. In a small French village, one family decided to shelter a Jewish refugee. Just one family risking their safety. Then another, and before long, this tiny village had saved over 3,000 Jewish lives. I mean, this didn't start as a massive resistance movement against the Nazis. It started with one home opening its doors. We live in a world that celebrates the big wins, the grand achievements, the headline-worthy moments. But what we often forget is that those moments don't just happen. They're built, piece by piece, by tiny, often invisible actions. I mean, consider the way a single grain of sand, caught in the right gust of wind, can start the shift of an entire dune. Or how, in an avalanche, it's often the last snowflake that causes the collapse. There's an old saying, you probably all have heard here, the straw that broke the camel's back. It's not because the straw itself was savvy. It's because the straw was the final addition to an already tipping scale. Now, what if we flip that idea? What if, instead of breaking the back, the straw was the one that saved it? What if one extra word of encouragement you told your friend yesterday was the one that changed their life forever? Or what if that final $100 investment was the one that helped a small business stay afloat? These things are small. I mean, we rarely see the results of these small actions. And that's why we overlook them, because the scale doesn't always tilt instantly. The weight sometimes builds gradually, invisibly, until one final push sends everything into motion. Now, let's go back to this penny. Just one penny, nothing special. But imagine yourself at a market stall a century ago, and you are one penny short of affording a loaf of bread. I mean, suddenly this penny becomes everything, right? It's the difference between eating and going hungry. Or imagine a scientist in a lab running an experiment for the 100th time. The results don't quite add up, but then one final adjustment, one final drop of liquid in a test tube, and suddenly, boom, breakthrough. We don't get to know in advance what our penny moment will be. We don't get to see the scale tilting in real time. But what we do know for a fact is that everything adds up. So what if we lived as if every small act mattered? What if we stopped underestimating the impact of small choices? What if we understood that we are all just pennies in a much larger scale, and that the world shifts not by one giant action, but by countless small ones? Because here's the thing, the scale is always tilting. No matter what we do, every choice we make, every step we take, whether we see it or not, adds weight to one side or the other. And in the end, the difference between what is and what could be just might be the weight of a single penny. Thank you.